I'm only getting to do it because of something sad that happened. I think a lot of that has dissipated over the last 3 years.
Vince Gill has been one of the most respected names in country music for decades. His song, Go Rest High on That Mountain, has brought peace to millions of people who faced grief and loss, showing the unique way his voice can touch hearts. Over the years, he has won 22 Grammy Awards, been inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and earned the respect of both fans and fellow musicians. But behind his gentle smile and calm presence, Vince's life has been shaped by private struggles, personal tragedy, and hard decisions that could have changed his career forever. At the age of 67, Vince has finally opened up about the deeper stories behind his music, revealing how heartbreak, sacrifice, and faith shaped the man he became. His honesty not only explains why his songs feel so personal, but also shows that his strength has always come from vulnerability, not fame. Vince's childhood in Norman, Oklahoma, seemed normal at first. He loved music early, often sitting with his small guitar while his father, a judge and part-time musician, played along with him. That joy changed forever in 1968 when Vince was just 11 years old. His older half-brother Bob was badly injured in a car accident. After 3 months in a coma, Bob survived but was left with permanent brain damage. He could no longer talk, take care of himself, or live the life he once had. For Vince, this was a heartbreaking loss, because the brother he admired and loved was still alive but trapped in silence. The pain of watching his parents grieve and living with this new reality left a scar that Vince carried for life. Bob stayed in this condition for 25 years until his death in 1993, the same year Vince released his Christmas album, Let There Be Peace on Earth. One of its songs, It Won't Be the Same This Year, was written from his pain and became one of the most emotional pieces of his career. That tragedy shaped Vince's tender style of singing, making his music sound real, honest, and deeply human. By the late 1980s, Vince Gill was respected in Nashville but had not yet become a superstar. He was known as a great guitar player and singer, but his solo albums had not made a big impact. Then came an opportunity that could have changed his life completely. Mark Knopfler, the famous frontman of Dire Straits, invited Vince to join the band at the peak of their success. For most musicians, this would have been the chance of a lifetime, sold-out arenas, worldwide fame, and financial security. But Vince turned it down. He later explained that if he had joined Dire Straits, he would have lost his own voice and never told his own stories. The decision was risky, and for years Vince struggled with self-doubt as he played smaller venues and wondered if he had made a mistake. But everything changed when he released When I Call Your Name. The emotional ballad showed the world the depth of his voice and songwriting, winning him his first Grammy Award. That song proved he had made the right choice, carving his own path instead of living someone else's dream. Vince's personal life also faced challenges that tested his character. In 1993, he met Christian music star Amy Grant while working on a Christmas special. From their first meeting, there was a spark between them that went beyond music. At the time, both Vince and Amy were married to other people, and they tried to keep their friendship respectful. However, the emotional connection between them grew stronger over the years. By the late 1990s, Vince's marriage to Janice Oliver ended, and Amy's marriage to Gary Chapman also broke apart. Their relationship quickly became a subject of controversy, especially for Amy, who faced harsh criticism from Christian audiences. Despite the public judgment, Vince and Amy remained committed to each other. They married in 2000 in a simple, heartfelt ceremony surrounded by family and close friends. Looking back, Vince admitted that the hardest part was being misunderstood, because many assumed their love was reckless, when in reality it was built on compassion, patience, and faith. Today, their marriage is seen as one of the strongest partnerships in music, proving that love can survive even the toughest storms. In 2016, the music world lost Glenn Frey, co-founder of the Eagles. Many thought the band's journey had ended. But when Vince Gill was invited to step in alongside Glenn's son, Deacon Frey, it gave the group new life. Vince was not trying to replace Glenn. No one could, but he wanted to honor the music with respect and love. When he performed with the Eagles for the first time in 2017, fans responded with emotion, tears, and standing ovations. Don Henley himself said that Vince knows how to be in a band, a rare compliment from one of rock's most demanding leaders. Some critics questioned the choice of bringing a country singer into a rock band, but Vince did not focus on negativity. He simply wanted to keep the music alive for fans around the world. His performances of songs like Lion Eyes and Take It to the Limit were praised for their beauty and sincerity. Joining the Eagles was not about fame for Vince. It was about showing gratitude to the music that inspired him for decades. Vince and Amy's marriage has faced serious challenges, especially in recent years. In 2020, Amy discovered she had a rare heart condition that required open-heart surgery. The surgery was successful, but recovery was long and painful. Vince stood by her side through every step, supporting her with steady love and care. Just 2 years later, in 2022, Amy suffered a serious bike accident that left her with a brain injury, memory issues, and balance problems. Once again, Vince canceled concerts to take care of her, saying no stage was more important than her health. During this time, his song When My Amy Prays became especially meaningful, turning into a tribute to their bond. These moments proved that their marriage was not built on convenience, but on deep devotion. Fans who once doubted their relationship now admire the strength and loyalty they share, seeing in Vince not only a musician, but also a husband who lives out his love daily. After decades of success, many artists would slow down, but Vince Gill continues to write music with passion. At 67, he has said that he is now writing the best songs of his life, not the kind that top charts, but the kind that heal and connect with people. His 2019 song Forever Changed showed this clearly, as it dealt with the painful subject of childhood abuse. With honesty and compassion, Vince gave voice to the voiceless, using music as a tool for healing. He no longer writes for fame or awards. Instead, he writes to share truth, empathy, and hope. By refusing shortcuts and staying true to his craft, he has become a role model for younger artists who see in him a rare kind of authenticity. Vince's music today is less about being popular and more about being meaningful, proving that his artistry has grown deeper with age. Looking back at Vince Gill's life, one can see a man who has faced tragedy, love, scandal, and redemption, yet always stayed true to himself. From losing his brother at a young age to turning down global fame with dire straits, from facing criticism for his relationship to honoring Glenn Frey's memory with the Eagles, every step has shown his quiet strength. What makes Vince different from many stars is not just his talent, but his humility. He never chased the spotlight. Instead, he let his music speak for him. At 67, as he continues to write songs filled with compassion and truth, he proves that greatness is not about being the loudest voice, but the most honest one. His story reminds us that music born from pain and love can last for generations. For fans, Vince Gill's songs are not just entertainment. They are a source of comfort, healing, and inspiration that will live on long after the stage lights fade. Vince Gill has one of those rare voices that feels like home. When you listen to him sing Go Rest High on That Mountain, it does not sound like just another song. It sounds like a prayer, a message of comfort, and a reminder that pain can be shared. This single piece of music has been sung at funerals, memorials, and moments of grief all over the world, making Vince not only a country star, but also a companion to those who mourn. Over the years, he has collected 22 Grammy Awards, countless industry honors, and a well-deserved place in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Yet what makes Vince's story powerful is not only his professional success, but also the deep struggles and private choices that shaped him. At 67, Vince Gill has finally spoken about the challenges behind his journey, tragedies that left scars, decisions that risked everything, and a love story that defied judgment. These revelations add a new layer to his already respected career, reminding us that true greatness often comes not from fame, but from living honestly through joy and sorrow. Growing up in Norman, Oklahoma, Vince's life began in a loving and music-filled home. His father, J. Stanley Gill, was a respected federal judge who also enjoyed playing music, often joining young Vince in casual jam sessions. Vince adored those times with his small 4-string guitar, feeling safe in the warmth of family traditions. But when he was just 11 years old, life changed in a way that would forever mark him. His older half-brother Bob was in a terrible car accident. After 3 long months in a coma, Bob survived, but he was left with permanent brain damage. He could no longer speak, take care of himself, or interact with the family the way he once had. For young Vince, it was as though his brother had disappeared, even though his body remained. The house grew quieter, filled with silent grief. His parents carried heavy sorrow, and Vince himself learned early what it meant to live with loss. Bob remained in this condition for 25 years before passing away in 1993, the same year Vince's career reached a new peak. That year, Vince released Let There Be Peace on Earth, and with it, the heartbreaking song It Won't Be the Same This Year. Every time he sang it, he remembered being that 11-year-old boy who lost his brother in spirit long before death. This tragedy did not just change him, it shaped the soul of his music, giving his songs the tenderness and honesty that audiences still feel today. By the late 1980s, Vince Gill had already proven himself as a skilled guitarist and harmony singer. He played with Pure Prairie League, even leading the band for a time, and was admired by musicians in Nashville. Yet despite his talent, commercial success seemed out of reach. 2 solo albums brought him critical praise but little chart recognition. At that point, many artists would have taken any opportunity to rise higher, and Vince received one of the biggest offers imaginable. Mark Knopfler, the legendary leader of Dire Straits, invited him to join the band at the height of their fame. For almost anyone else, this would have been an easy yes: sold-out stadiums, international recognition, and financial security. But Vince shocked people by turning it down. He later explained that if he had joined Dire Straits, he might never have found his own artistic voice. He would have been playing someone else's songs instead of telling his own stories. For years, he wondered if he had made a mistake, especially during difficult times when money was tight and he was opening for bigger stars rather than headlining. But in 1989, his album When I Call Your Name changed everything. The title track was raw, emotional, and unforgettable. It won him his first Grammy and secured his place in country music history. Looking back, Vince said he would rather be true to himself in a small club than be someone else in front of a huge crowd. That honesty became the foundation of his entire career. In 1993, Vince Gill met Amy Grant while filming a Christmas special. She was already a household name, known as the Queen of Christian Pop, while Vince was gaining attention as a country star with a gentle heart. From the moment they met, there was a spark, not of reckless attraction, but of kindness and deep understanding. At the time, both were married to other people, Vince to Janice Oliver, with whom he had a daughter, and Amy to singer Gary Chapman. Their lives were complicated, and both marriages were struggling privately. For several years, Vince and Amy remained respectful friends, collaborating on songs and sharing the stage. But the chemistry between them was obvious, and soon the public began speculating. By the late 1990s, both of their marriages ended, and they decided to build a future together. Their relationship drew heavy criticism, especially toward Amy, whose image as a Christian singer was seen as being in conflict with divorce and remarriage. Radio stations stopped playing her songs, and she received painful judgment from former fans. Vince faced less public anger but admitted that it hurt deeply to have people assume the worst about them. He always insisted that their relationship was not reckless, but was based on love, compassion, and faith. In March 2000, they married in a quiet ceremony surrounded by friends and family. Over 2 decades later, their love has not only survived but thrived, proving that true love can weather even the harshest storms of judgment. When Glenn Frey, co-founder of the Eagles, passed away in 2016, it seemed like the end of an era. Don Henley himself said the band could not continue without Glenn. But soon, Vince Gill received an invitation to join the group alongside Glenn's son, Deacon Frey. It was a surprising choice, but also one that made sense. Vince had long admired the Eagles, and his voice carried the same smooth, heartfelt tone that could honor Glenn's legacy. Vince did not see the role as replacing Glenn, but as paying tribute to the music. In 2017, he joined the band on stage for the first time at Dodger Stadium. The crowd of more than 50,000 responded with overwhelming emotion, rising to their feet in respect.